Good to go, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Good evening, ma'am.
So, good
Yes,
evening,
ma'am.
ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Hope you all can see me and hear me properly. If you can't, just put it in the chat. Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am? Can
Yes,
you
I
hear
hear
me?
you, ma'am. I hear you.
Okay, okay. So, I'm Dr. Nandini Devi. I'm a plastic surgeon working in Chennai, and I'm also a fitness and nutrition consultant. So I'll be discussing about junk food and its hazards with you people today. Okay. So I'll share the screen and it will be a very short presentation. After that, you all can ask me your questions. I'll be happy to answer. Right. Okay. Can you all see the screen that's being shared?
We see the screen. Ma'am, before you just start, a small introduction on the topic and the theme of the event. Do you hear me, ma'am? Ma'am, are you there? Am I audible? Am I audible? Ma'am had some internet issues. She will join us in a minute or so. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. See, latecomers do not get CC benefit. Let me be very clear. So ask your friends to join fast. Ma'am, just a small introduction about the theme of the event and why we chose junk food. Majorly, this is a program on wellness where we focus. It's a wholesome program where we focus on mental wellness, physical wellness, and financial wellness and spiritual wellness. We just had an offline session in the morning for the students on financial wellness, and now physical is with you. Then we also have a psychiatrist who will be talking to them on a topic which is related to mental wellness and how they can handle emotions. Plus, we'll have one on spiritual wellness where they will have yoga and meditation sessions. So the program has been the program is called Health in Your Hands, where everything is with us, nothing is outside. That is what we try to tell them, and it's been there for the last six consecutive. This is the sixth consecutive year we are conducting this, and again, why we chose junk food is students fall a prey to junk food. Why? I mean, you don't need to ask about college students. And there are stalls outside the college. Canteen also offers junk food. That is the only lucrative thing. Even if they bring their own tiffin boxes, they are going to be having the junk food, throwing the food that they get or distributing it to somebody else. So this is what generally happens. So we thought Madam is also a fitness coach and she has trained over 10,000 clients in her career. I mean, she has 10 years plus of experience in plastic surgery. Madam is a medical expert as well. And so I thought none other will be ideal to talk on this topic. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Apologies for the break in between, ma'am. There was this Wi-Fi going off and coming back because of the power. So, yes, I'm Dr. Nandini, a plastic surgeon and a fitness coach. So, I'll just start off with the presentation now. It will be very short and crisp, and at the end of it, you guys can ask me doubts and questions. I'll be happy to answer. So, ma'am, can you all see the screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we see. Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll be discussing about junk food as described by ma'am. So you
Yes.
should know what is junk food first of all. Junk food is any food that is high in calories and less in nutrients. So high in calories means it will have a lot of fat and lot of sugar in it. Sugar means it won't be the routine whole carbs that we eat. It will be like refined sugar, white sugar, something that is easily digestible and gets a lot of energy to micronutrients. Micronutrients means all the vitamins that our body needs and minerals like calcium, magnesium, and all. And fiber will also be not there in such kind of food. So the problem in this food is you don't get what is necessary for your body. You just get the energy, but the nutrition value of this food is very very poor. So you're not getting what the body needs. So, examples of junk food, we usually think burger, fries, these pizzas, pastas, all these fast food items that we get outside, these sugary sodas, Coke, Pepsi, etc. But they're not junk food alone. The snacks that are made in homemade snacks, uh, they also have excess of carbs and fat, and their nutritive value is very less. And these granola bars, the protein bars, all of them, if you check the nutrition label in the back of the packet, you will be able to see that they all have a lot of fat, lot of sugar, and very less amount of nutrients that are required for your body. These overnight oats that are being prepared, the readily available overnight oats, they also have a lot of calories. In spite of having nutrients, which is very less, they also become calorie dense. Then, not just sodas, fruit juices with a lot of sugar added to it, which we drink on a regular basis, thinking that that is healthy and this soda is not healthy. They add like 2 to 3 spoons of sugar in each fruit juice that is prepared in the stall, and that will easily add to too much of calories and will become a junk food when taken in an inappropriate amount. So why junk food is harmful? So when we eat food, there is a point in which we feel satisfied and the hunger goes off, and we feel like this is enough. That is called as satiety. So that is entirely absent in this kind of food. This will stimulate you to eat more and more. It's never enough. It's like if you open a packet of chips, you'll never just close it off halfway through. You'll obviously, completely finish it off because you don't feel that it is enough. The high amount of salt and sugar in this food items added with a lot of fat, they start becoming addictive to your brain. So you lose the control of how much you are eating. This is the problem with junk foods, along with being calorie excessing, giving you an excess amount of energy. So what happens when you eat too much? So energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, can only be transformed from one form to another. This is sixth standard physics. I hope you all would have read. So what happens is when body gets a lot of energy more than that it requires, it will convert it into fat and it starts depositing it. So this fat gets deposited underneath your skin. This is called subcutaneous fat, and then gets deposited around your organs within your body as well. So till the fat is just under your skin, you will not be having any medical conditions, diseases, etc. Once this starts getting deposited inside your organs, around your organs, it is called visceral fat, and it will cause all kinds of diseases like diabetes, hypertension, or BP. That's how we call PCOS, which is very common in women nowadays, and finally heart diseases. So all these together are caused because of excess fat deposition and something called insulin resistance that develops in our body, where um, this hormone called insulin, it helps in taking in all the blood sugar into the system to burn it, to give energy or do whatever that is necessary. So this hormone's activity becomes blocked because of this excess amount of fat. It's resulting in all kinds of problems that eventually happen. This condition is called overall metabolic syndrome, and all these diseases follow through from that. So, this insulin resistance and excess salt, which we get from the junk food, and because of more fat that we get in the body, the cholesterol level in the body, the blood tests start becoming abnormal. So the amount of good cholesterol goes down. That is called HDL. That is high density lipoprotein. That's how we call it. And something called triglycerides and low density lipoprotein. These are called bad cholesterol in common terms. So these things go up high. So they cause fat deposition inside the blood vessels. They start shrinking it, and this leads to all kinds of problems like heart attack, stroke, and pain in the legs, blood flow being cut off to the legs, to the hands, and all that. So it's just what you eat determines a whole lot of things that happens within our body. So all these things, excess energy, fat deposition, lead to something called obesity, which all of you might be knowing because it's being talked about everywhere. So as I said, this picture shows all kind of things that follow through once this starts happening. Unfortunately, a lot of young people are becoming diabetic. We just do blood tests in a random way when they come for some other problem. People who are just 17, 18 years, 20 years, 25 years, turn out to be diabetic because they are overweight or they have been eating too much of junk food, too much of food basically with a lot of energy. So not just diabetes, everything will follow through. They'll have gallbladder problem, high cholesterol, they'll have fatty liver, which is very common nowadays. Everybody is coming with a report, ultrasound report, like doctor, I have fat deposition in the liver. How to get out, come out of it? So these things happen in a full-fledged way when you are around 35, 40 nowadays, which is very early. The beginning of all these problems starts in the teenagers, where you start eating everything without having any idea on nutrition. If somebody teaches you guys if this is a problem, then you will be cautious of what you're putting into your body. So should we completely cut off all this kind of food items? uh, that becomes socially impossible. Like if you're going for a family function, a marriage, a birthday party, or any kind of a social gathering, you will have junk food there because that is what is easily available, cheap, and tasty as well. So the amount of junk food you consume is the problem. So it is always the dosage that causes the poison. So if you're going to a party or something, you can limit yourself with a little bit of whatever food they provide and then say no, this is enough for me. You can stop yourself from drinking all these sugary food items and also alcohol. Alcohol is also a junk item because it's like 1 gram of alcohol gives 7 calories, totally waste calories actually. It doesn't do any good to your body, and it goes and stops all other functions that are happening in your liver. So body's main function becomes removing alcohol from the body when you are consuming it. So for around 24 to 48 hours, your liver stops doing anything else except cleaning your body off of alcohol. So that is then alcohol has been said as a cancer causing substance, and it has been declared as one recently by World Health Organization. Even moderate consumption of alcohol, which was considered to be healthy, like consuming red wine and all, now has been found to cause a lot of types of cancers. So that should also be avoided. So, other kind of food items, moderation is the key, like I said. Socialize, limit intake of such food items so that you don't end up in an unhealthy life later on. So, somebody is eating too much of junk food, there should be some kind of a trigger for you guys to eat a lot of junk food. So, things that trigger you basically are lack of sleep. All of us should have get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you're not sleeping throughout the night, then a lot of things in the brain get activated and you start craving for salty, sugary junk food. This has been proved by many researchers. So this happens because you're not sleeping properly. So you don't sleep properly, you eat junk food, you become fat, and then again you don't sleep properly. This becomes a cycle. Then, when you are sedentary, if you're not doing any work, you're sitting in a place, you're bored, you start eating some junk. This is very common, very very common. And inability to cook. So everybody should learn to cook, boys, girls, everybody, because it is a life skill, survival skill. If you start learning cooking and enjoying it, you will not waste food, and you will not buy food from outside. Once you are out of your college and you started working, you might be having long hours of work. Once you come back home, if you're not someone who likes cooking or who knows cooking, you will automatically order food from outside. Most of the outside food is junk food because a lot of oil, lot of items in the food that does not have any nutrition value. So that, and people with mental health issues use eating as a coping mechanism. You feel anxious, you feel sad, you feel depressed. People start eating food. Food start giving brain chemicals that make you feel good. So if you are starting to develop that habit, these habits usually start developing at early stages of college life, when we start facing life and start learning a lot of coping mechanisms. So if you are developing such a coping mechanism, it is better to get help from a mental health professional for whatever you are facing, and get rid of this particular coping mechanism, which is excuse, which is not going to do any good for your health. Then, so as I said, once you know and learn how to cook, you will not be, eating outside food much. And make cooking as a practice at home. Uh, mm, don't just be your mom or only the girls, women at home cook. All of when everybody gets involved in cooking, it becomes a some kind of a time which you spend together with your family. So you can use it as something to build bonds within your family. You can replace all the junk that you're eating whenever you get hungry, whenever you're snacking with veggies and fruits. Then have whole grains as food: rice, wheat, whole grains, pastas, things. So these things have something called complex carbohydrates, which do not immediately digest and become energy in your body. Sweet potatoes, these are good complex carbs. So they'll digest slowly, and you will feel full when you had enough of these things. And your protein intake should be enough. It should be from a good quality source. Uh, a good quality protein means it should have all the essential amino acids in it, and it should be digestible, it should be available to your body, and all that. So these protein bars and stuff, like protein snacks, all those things that are available nowadays, you just have to check the nutrition label in the back and then consume them. See the total amount of calories that you're getting from it, and whether enough nutrients are there, and then you can consume. Easy way to consume protein at home is eggs, paneer, cheese, um, chicken, soya chunks, all those things. And unfortunately, dal is not a good protein source. You can consume it. It also has a lot of carbohydrates in it. So you can consume it, but it is not a good quality protein. So just learn about these things, and have good food that will keep you full. And whenever you are thirsty, the best thing to drink is plain water, right? Not juice, not coffee, not tea, not cold drinks, soda, all those things. Water is the most healthiest drink that you can drink to quench your thirst. Okay. So coming to the end of it, so because of junk food, there is an epidemic of obesity and diabetes happening. This is a preventable epidemic, like what you eat, where from where you eat, how much you eat. So in your college canteens, your student associations can discuss with your professors and replace all the junk food in the college canteen with salad bowls, eggs, fruits, and all that. Removing these soda cans from the college canteen, just keeping the water there, making sure that you're getting just food that is not too much of a junk will help. And when it comes to things like lifestyle diseases like obesity, diabetes, and everything else that we just discussed, prevention is always the best way, because once it starts coming, then a lot of effort, sometimes you might not be able to reverse it to a point where you can like put it in remission and keep it under control and lead a healthy life even though you have the disease. So that never happens for most of the people. So sort it out at the early stage of your life, when things begin. If somebody is getting diagnosed as a diabetic at 35, 40 years of age, the disease doesn't begin at 35, 40. The problem has already started 20 years back with the eating habits, with the physical activity, all of those. So be cautious of what you are eating, what you are giving to your body. You have one life, one body. So taking care of it well will make you live your life in a happy, healthy way. And having a good health is very, very important in succeeding in your career and having a good family life as well. So, to conclude, prioritize your health, get involved in any kind of physical activity that will keep you moving. Drink a lot of water, like around 3 to 4 liters of water every day. 3 liters is minimum amount that is required to maintain proper health. So most of you would be drinking very less. So touch at least 3, if possible 3.5 to 4 liters per day. Sleep properly. 7 to 8 hours of sleep is very, very important, and it is important that you are asleep between 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock in the night, when most of the human hormones have the cycles secretion, mainly testosterone, growth hormone, all those things. I think all of you would be knowing because of social media nowadays. All these things have a cycle where they peak, the secretion increases during that time of the night. And be cautious of what you are eating. It's very, very important. Cheap, uh, tasty junk food is available everywhere. Healthy food not really available everywhere. Even if you go to a supermarket, once you enter, immediately in the center, all these junk only will be there. If you have to go find your milk, egg, your fruits, you have to go to the periphery. You have to go round and round to find out where what you wanted to buy is, and you will end up buying some form of junk from the supermarket even when you go. So be cautious when you shop your food. Also, take a list with you. So all these things are important, because as it's in the slide, prevention is always better than cure. Right? Okay. Thank you, everyone. So,
Thank you very much, ma'am.
thank you, ma'am.
Students, if you have any doubts, you can type it out in your chat box. Please put up your hand and then type it out in your chat box.
So, was this useful to every one of you? How was the session?
Yes, ma'am, we found it useful. It was lucidly explained, in fact.
Thank you, ma'am. Because I thought children should know. Children means, I'm a bit old for you kids, so I'm calling you like that. So you should know
Right,
it, because this is a start there
correct,
at your age. So
right.
yeah.
Do you have any doubts or do you have any queries for ma'am? Yes, Salia. You can type it out or you can unmute and speak.
Ma'am, we can follow some like guidelines or steps for the healthy day, right? The healthy day of food and how it starts.
Please turmeric, ma'am. Turmeric milk. Something like that. Do you have any suggestions?
Okay. So the turmeric milk, turmeric has been used by our Indian society for a very long time for the basic medicinal benefits. So adding in the food is okay, but consumption of a lot of turmeric in the form of capsules from supplement companies that have a lot of contaminants has resulted in liver issues. So just keep it with the food that we prepare at home. Do not overconsume, and you don't have to have a curcumin as a capsule.
But ma'am, basically we consume turmeric in daily basis, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
So it is good for
yes.
our health.
Uh, it has some benefits, and we use it in a very minimal amount in our Indian food. So it is good. But the problem that is happening nowadays is because of the supplement industry, we are being sold turmeric, curcumin capsules, which people are gulping a lot. So those things are turning out to be harmful. So when you are consuming, just limit it to whatever you are consuming at home when you're cooking. You can have it with milk. It's not going to have an issue. But don't have it as a supplement. Don't buy bottles of curcumin tablets, capsules, and start consuming it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, also preservatives in foods that come from shop. Like we think it's a healthy food. All these
Mm,
protein bars, etc. So how healthy are they?
okay. So preservatives are usually added in a very little amount, ma'am. They help in improving the shelf life of the food. So it is very much essential nowadays because certain food has to be preserved. Like we add vinegar in pickles,
Right.
oil in pickles to preserve. So similar to that, dosage is poison. That's the mantra here. So uh, if you check, it will be very minimal amount. Even in the routine masalas, the food masalas that we buy from the market nowadays. Previously, we used to prepare all masalas at home. Nowadays, we
Mhm.
don't have time. So those things and the mild preservatives there, they don't usually cause much harm as much as it is being blown out in the media and social media nowadays. Then coming to the junk food, basically the amount of calories is the problem, and
Okay.
the preservatives added in protein bars and all, same. It's
Okay.
not about the preservative, it is about the total amount of fat that is there in these bars. You get like 10 gram, 15 gram of protein in a protein bar, which is 300, 400 calories. It is not worth it. You can eat egg instead of that. And and others protein supplements that we get, it's always better to consume everything from your whole food. Protein from whole food is always better. And if somebody is consuming whey protein, then the uh, question of whether that person is buying it from the proper buyer comes without contaminants. It's not about the preservative that is there in these things, it is about the contaminants that are being added, the poor quality of the powders that are available in India. The regulations are being slowly getting better, but as of now, it's not in a good place.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any
Today,
other doubt? Yes, ma'am.
Did I answer your question, ma'am? Did you
Yes.
get the answer? Yeah.
Yes. Any other questions? Um, assuming it was actually a very clear session, ma'am. So almost the basic level we did understand whatever was communicated. So I hope they at least don't go back to their own junk food. Of course, we need to keep telling them like how we tell kids, don't walk here, don't talk. We have to
Yeah.
keep telling them that is what. Otherwise, the message was conveyed, and I'm sure at least some amount of you would have taken in. And thank you very much, ma'am, for readily consenting to talk. And
It
I
is.
hope,
It is. Yeah, it's a pleasure, ma'am.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We hope to have you for more such sessions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, it's a pleasure talking to college children because they are the basis of the future community. So I feel really glad that I was able to convey some nutrition related message to these kids. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. If it's okay, the meeting.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, can we end the meeting here?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.